Hi, this is Mike Nichols with the Piper M-Class Owners and Pilots Association. I'm here in Oshkosh, Wisconsin at EAA AirVenture. One of the best parts about this week has been interacting with members of the PMOPA, talking about flying, best practices, and all things PA-46. If you're not a member of PMOPA, as a viewer of the Casey Aviation YouTube channel or a listener to the Malibu Guru podcast, we'd love for you to join us. We'll offer you 20% off your first year membership. Please join using the code Malibu Guru. The offer is good till September 15th. We hope you'll sign up on the PMOPA website at pmopa.com. Hope you'll join us, and we'll see you at our convention in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, September 11th through 14th. Until then, enjoy all things PA-46.
I mean, I had a rock bottom, but that did not wake me up, you know. I had a horrible rock bottom, but that did not keep me from drinking because I still had a lot of fight in me. You either believe in addiction or you don't. People will often say, you've got a problem. You know, you got to get help. Your wife, your ex-wife, your friend, your church, you know, you're this, you've got a problem. Well, those people, okay, fine. I might have a problem. You either believe I have an addiction problem or you don't. And what I mean by that is addiction is a real thing. Addiction sort of, you know, it's separate from you. It was separate from me. Yes, I am the one who made a certain choices. We talked about choices recently, you and I. We make those choices. But with alcohol or with anything that's addictive, at some point, it takes over.
Makes the choice for you.
It makes
You can't put it down.
No, because when you are addicted, your body has to have it to survive. That's why withdrawal is so, you know, difficult. And it's dangerous.
Right.
So that's why I say, okay, to my friends, my family, okay, you either believe I'm addicted or you don't. Because when I was addicted, that was not me. It really wasn't. It was my body, but it was my brain and my chemical makeup saying, I have to have it, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to lose my mind, or bad things can happen. So you got to get help. You can't make that choice. You know, you can't logically, you can't plan your way, or you can't reason your way. You know, you can't come up with your own step process to get out. You know, okay, fine. Some people might be able to say, okay, I'm going to quit cold turkey, and they do it for a while. Mm-hmm. And some people have had success with that for a while. They can abstain from it until they can't.
And then when they can't, it comes storming back.
It comes back worse.
Correct.
Relapses are 10 times worse than the actual first occurrence. So to put a finer point on, get help. You have to be able to say, I surrender. I give up. And that's basically what I did. I give up. Whatever. Sure, I'll go to treatment. When do I go? He's like, go tomorrow. I was like, I can't. I got to do laundry. You know, I mean, like I got to take care of some affairs, in which I did. And, you know, that was he called me on a Sunday, and I think I was on my way to treatment on a Wednesday. So 17 November of 22 is my sobriety date. Entered into treatment, the HIMSS program, 28 30-day treatment. And that's just what you need to just stop the insanity, like stop the madness, get your body, you know, to start figuring out, okay, how to live without the substance. And then start working through this idea of recovery and what that can be. So there's that. And then once you finish recovery, it's 90 days. We call it 90 and 90. 90 meetings, 90 recovery support meetings in 90 days.
This is after you've gone through...
This is after treatment, yeah.
So you've gone to and a treatment where you go away. You went to a facility.
Yeah.
So,
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was nice. It was a great facility, and we've since we no longer send folks to the facility that I went to, and it wasn't particularly bad, and it was good in many ways. But now we're working.
There's others.
Right. We're working with one out near Baltimore. That's just fantastic. And so you do that, and that's just to get you on the right path. And then 90 meetings in 90 days, you get in the routine of going to support groups. So it's largely AA based, Alcoholics Anonymous, because it's the most prolific support program in the world.
It works.
And then we have what's called aftercare, which is not really based on AA, but it's just another support group. And then working with the AME, and it has to be a designated HIMSS AME, somebody who has attended the training, is qualified to work with substance abuse, and then also with like mental health, with SSRIs and those things. But on the alcohol side, finding the right HIMSS AME is critical. And then it also involves some sort of psychological evaluation, a cognitive exam to make sure that we haven't fried our whatever marbles we got up there.
Right.
But then and then just establishing also a pattern of testing, so regular testing, random drug and alcohol screening.
Yeah.
So it is a process, but it's very daunting to hear, to talk about, to call somebody up and say, we're going to slap your tail into treatment. You're going to go do this and this and this and this. And then people are like, ooh, wait a minute. No, I don't want to do that the rest of my life.
Right.
The thing about it, though, is that it's not even a blip on the radar for me now.
Right.
It is the life that I have
when
now.
You're an alcoholic, it looks completely daunting.
Yeah.
And when you're in the fight,
right,
it looks like an insurmountable hill.
Oh yeah.
But now looking back on it, it's
wonderful.
Is there a way to get through this without other people?
No.
Okay.
No.
You will. Other people are required to make this happen.
Yeah.
And other people I want the emphasis on this because I think there's some people out there that think they can pull themselves up by the bootstraps and get to the other side.
Yeah.
And the answer is you cannot.
Absolutely, you cannot. Well, I'll put it this way. That same psychiatrist that I was talking about earlier, talking about how we use our skills, also said, okay, fine. There are some people that can just stop drinking. I tell a story, and this is important because I want to make this point. What you brought up, Joe, is absolutely important. I have a buddy of mine, Army buddy, fixed wing pilot, jet pilot, great guy. Went on lots of deployments together, served in Germany together. Super guy, but boy, he and I partied a lot.
Yeah.
And he could drink. And he could, get sloppy to the point where like, dude, slow down. It's like, what's your problem? And, take it easy. So I love this guy to death, but he was a big drinker. A couple of years passed by, I'm having dinner with him and he's saying, yeah, my wife and I, we decided we're going to go run a marathon. Oh, okay. He's a real fitness guy. He's always in the gym on deployments, with the 90-pound dumbbells and, whatever.
Yeah.
Hogging them so I can't get my workout in. Like I can do 90-pound dumbbells. Yeah. But he's like, oh, yeah, we're going to do a marathon. Or we did a marathon. And then somebody at the table said, hey, how did you train for it? And he said, well, the first thing we did, we just cut out all the alcohol. Wife and I, we just, for 30 days, no alcohol. And I swear to you, I sat there at the time and I thought to myself, you fucking asshole.
He's that 1%.
He's that 1%.
Yeah.
It made me so mad. I was so mad. I put a smile on, but I was like, I can't believe you are the guy that I have to say, cool it. like, slow down. I was having to put the brakes on for you, and you can turn it off like that.
Yeah. The person that can do that is extremely rare.
Right. So what this one psychiatrist was saying is that there are people that can just turn it off. There are alcoholics, like addicted alcoholics, who can turn it off and go it alone. But why would you want to? Why would you want to go into battle by yourself without a battle buddy?
Right.
So for me, I'm blessed. I know I'm having a good recovery because recovery is a journey. That's why you don't hear somebody say, I'm a recovered alcoholic.
They say recovering.
They say a recovering. It is a daily
Still in
process.
the process.
Yeah. But it's not like, for some people it can be early on. It's a day, like they really have to work at it. I mean, everybody's different, but it's a sweet way of saying, this is a journey. This is a daily practice. It's something that I do because it's a way of life. It's the way I want to live. But why would you want to go it alone? And so I don't have to. I've got a great support network. I have, obviously I have my family. I have my closest friends that I'm able to say, this is me and this is just who I am and I need your support. I've got my AA community. I have my Sun Country hymns. I've got my aftercare group. I've got a wide net. And so it's important to cast a wide net because, I draw from it all the time.
Yeah. The people in this community are pilots that fly by themselves, meaning that they're single pilot, single engine. Yeah. They pay the bills, they make things happen, they make it go, they overcome obstacles, make all this happen. Right. And the person listening to this that has that alcohol problem or that drug problem or that thing that they're covering up, the muscle relaxers, I don't know, whatever it happens to be. I don't want them having the idea that they can go it alone, because if you're the one of 1,000 that can do that is unbelievable. Yeah. And the bottom line is, if you're going to go through something, you're going to go through something with other people. People are required. We're humans. That humans have to live amongst other humans to make this go. You want to create a complete imbecile or an idiot, put them on an island for 6 months and come back. That person will be a shell of what they were. Right. We've proven this time. And the point behind this is that if you got this problem, you've got to admit it. You've got to confess it. You've got to find other people and be able to tell the story and be able to talk it through and be able to work it out. And it's going to take a group of people that's not your present set of buddies. Right. You're going to have to turn away from a lot of different things. Right.
Oh, yeah. You definitely have to, get away from that. Well, if you're in a community that's a big drinking community or whatever, and we know pilots can be, military can be. For me, though, I got to the point where I was just drinking alone. Being, sad, lonely in a hotel room, and that was a bad place to be. But part of the hesitation or the fear for a lot of people is don't really know what AA is all about. And I was the same way. Like, I didn't know. I always thought of AA as just this group of sad sots who go in there and just are chain smoking and shaky because they can't have a drink, and it's just. That's kind of what we see maybe in films. And it can be that way at times, but it's not. I couldn't admit that I was an alcoholic because I didn't identify as one.
Right.
I was a respected military man, airline pilot, made plenty of money. I wasn't the deadbeat dad who couldn't pay the child support and, never had any legal trouble or
weren't living in the gutter.
Wasn't in the gutter. But I wasn't that person. But when I got into it, and when I met folks in treatment, when I go to some AA meetings, I'm just like them and they're just like me.
Yeah.
I mean, just about every addiction story is the same. It's the same. It might be the same Kool-Aid. It just has a different color, whatever. It's just,
Right.
we all have the same story. But in the home group, AA home group that I go to in my little town, I call it misfits and millionaires. It can be people who are just let out. I mean, literally just walked out of prison to the banker down the street, the multimillionaire,
Right.
And so everybody in between.
Everybody in between.
Yeah. So that's important. And then that community, once I got into it, helped me understand what the 12 steps were, the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. And, I honestly just thought, well, you need a 12-step program. You need, the 12 steps. I thought it was a gimmick. I thought it was a self-help gimmick,
It's not.
If
It works.
if I could get a hold of it, I would turn it into the 11 steps and sell it for even more. Shortcut. Everybody's looking for a shortcut. I thought it was that sort of thing, but it's not. It's a prescription for living that can be found in lots of literature and cultures and religions, actually. Even though we stress that it's not a religion. We talk about spirituality, we talk about a higher power. We talk about God. But those of us in AA who understand it, have to stress too that it's just because we're talking about God doesn't mean we're necessarily talking about religion or the church. And the church being the one that a lot of people get held up on is like they may have had an issue with the church, so they don't want to talk about God because they think of the church. But it's just important to recognize that really we need that higher power. We need God's help. We need and the collective body, the body of the church, the body of Christ, or the body of God, being others.
Yes.
Around us.
Absolutely.
So, but the 12 steps are very important, but when you read them, and you don't even have to be an alcoholic, and you can read through and think, wow, this makes a whole lot of sense.
Right. And it made a lot of sense. It also, what made a lot of sense is that Sun Country paid you while you went through your recovery. I'm talking about that absolutely floored me. That Sun Country still paid you. You couldn't fly.
Well,
you had no medical.
Well, it's recognized as a disease.
Correct.
It was long-term. I didn't lose my license. I lost my medical, as you know, and I was on long-term disability.
Correct.
Even though I quickly became the healthiest in my life, I was on medical disability because I didn't have the medical certificate to fly. So it's not just Sun Country and other airlines obviously have the same benefits, but I'll tell you this. There's a guy who entered into treatment about 6 weeks after I returned from treatment. He had been with a company for 9 days. He had just finished NDOC. The company did not owe him a thing. He had not touched a simulator. He had not touched a procedural trainer. They had nothing but a few nights of a hotel invested in them.
And they still
said, I mean, when he had his incident and was called in, he's like, I thought I was done for, And they said, nope, you're one of us. We hired you. You're one of our pilots. This is what we do.
There really is something special about Sun Country. It's truly, they've made some decisions about supporting their employees that it's just phenomenal.
It is.
It's really a cool thing.
Yeah.
You went a fairly long time before you got your medical back. From the time when was it November of 22, how much time until you got your medical back and could return to the cockpit?
I started requal training in October 1st of 2024.
There you go.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. Again, some folks will say, "Oh God, 2 years or whatever. What do I do? I'm a 135 operator. I'm a whatever. I need this for my livelihood. I need this to run my business." The time varies. Mine was so long because of some administrative errors with the medical center that I was using to process my application. There were some setbacks. They were not my fault, or they were not indicative of my recovery.
Right.
So that was frustrating. And we have since moved to other providers that can
Walk
can
people
help
through this,
right.
yes.
And there are, and that's very important for folks to understand, especially your audience, especially the general aviation community, is finding the right AME is critical. Finding the right HIMSS AME. Again, this is all subsequent to getting help. Get the help. When it comes time to reapply for your medical, finding the right AME is critical.
100%.
Yeah, as you know, with your
I just got my
heart
medical
attack.
back not long ago. I was 3 months from having a heart attack to getting my medical back.
Yeah.
I will say, and I'll talk about this on another podcast, but there's basically two areas. Number one, I was very anal about getting all my paperwork exactly
Sure.
right. The other one is I found the right AMEs.
Yeah.
I had basically two. One that is my local AME, another one, Tom Thomason, who's in this in the PA-46 world, owns a PA-46, and he was just a mentor of mine that made sure that I dotted the I's and crossed the T's, and basically helped me walk through this. I needed my local AME and I needed Tom. I mean, both of them. I think the difference is a great AME that knows what they're doing and is able to walk through this. If you have a HIMSS AME, meaning an AME that deals with this, you're going to find that person if you elect to go down the road that you've gone down. It can happen a lot faster than 2 years. You go through training, you come out the other side, you dot your I's, you cross your T's. Pilots are really good at this. You can make things happen.
Yeah. Part of the reason why I used the particular medical facility was just because my insurance covered everything, still does.
Right.
And I'm still going there, but it's easier now that I have my special issuance back. But it's going to cost money, time and money. But yeah, absolutely finding the right. And there are HIMSS AMEs out there who they specialize. This is all they do. They do HIMSS.
Yes.
And they're good at it, and they know how to. And it's not, they're not taking shortcuts. They just know how to present the case to the FAA so that it's clear, unequivocal evidence that this person is in a good recovery. Doesn't say this person's guaranteed to never relapse. That's not what they're saying. But what the FAA wants to see is sufficient evidence pointing to this person is. It's unlikely that this person's going to have a relapse.
Right.
And even if you have a relapse, the process can start again, and you get back into recovery. And it's said and accepted by medical professionals around the world. Relapse is part of recovery. Now, I don't have any plans to relapse, and I do everything that I can every day to make sure that that's not going to happen to me.
You have to make a daily choice, don't you?
Today. Right. It's like I have to make that.
I'm not going to take a drink, period. Okay. Since you went into recovery, you have not had a drink, period. Case closed. And won't ever again for the rest of your life. If you do this right, if the recovery goes well.
Well, I've never had a craving, and that's what's so weird. That lots of people that do go into recovery, and maybe I'm that effing what guy. I'm that guy who never has a craving. But I think it's just because of I finally getting to that point of really surrendering. Like, okay, I give up. What? What is it?
Yeah.
I use that line, when you feel like you're sort of one of the, not redeemable person. I truly believe that God's grace is sufficient. So it was that point of just saying, okay, fine. And I've never had a craving.
There you go.
So, so very thankful for that. But then it goes back to my casting a wide net. I've got a great support network.
Yeah.
So
Other people.
yeah,
Other people that are there to support you.
right. But there is a lot of support. I do want to mention, for more information about the HIMSS program, the website is hymnsprogram.com. But then I also want to talk about the group Birds of a Feather. And this is particularly important for the general aviation community. It's the I would say most prolific and most readily at hand resource for general aviation pilots who might be struggling to reach out to a group, and it's pilots. It's pilots, air traffic controllers. Sometimes we have maintainers and flight attendants will come in, but it's not all airline. So you've got a lot of general aviation, a lot of corporate, and it's basically AA, Alcoholics Anonymous,
For aviation.
for aviation. It's called Birds of a Feather, and you can find their website at boaf.org.
Okay.
And it has a list of places that have meetings, either in person or via Zoom call. But pretty much every, I'm not gonna say every major city, but a lot of them have meetings, usually once a week. But it's a global organization, and we have pilots in New Zealand, and I've met a couple of them at a conference, and they're just wonderful people. I could show you on my phone. I've got a WhatsApp Birds of a Feather chat group that probably has over 1,000 chats in it because I haven't checked it in a while. But just anytime you can sign into one of those meetings. It follows the standard AA meeting format, but you can participate. You can watch, you can listen, you can lurk, you can not say anything. But I guarantee you that if anyone, just says, hi, I'm Staton, I think I might be an alcoholic and I don't know what to do. I'm a charter pilot, or I'm flying for an auto dealer family, and I'm really worried about losing my livelihood. You will find the help.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
support rather, and help. Yeah.
You went through a cumulative tough time, lots of deployments, lots of time away, lots of that I think led to a lot of family issues, a lot of family problems that happened, overseas stuff. Again, you were gone so much. I just know that. Tough assignments in the military that looked really flashy-dashy, but what it meant was lots of work, lots of time, lots of pressure, lots of things of this nature that basically got you to a place where emotional troubles. The alcohol was a numbing effect. The alcohol was a way to escape. The alcohol was felt like it put a salve on the problem. And most of it for pilots, we just don't understand the problem. Meaning I can handle that. I can deal with it. I can make this thing go, and until you can't. Alcohol. The problem with alcohol is it works. It solves that problem.
Yes.
Until it kills you. Until it takes you out.
Right.
Because and that's where I think that there's pilots out there or people listening to this. And I just wanted to highlight one aspect of it is if you could go back to the high pressure with alcohol salving things as compared to now where there's absolutely no alcohol whatsoever. Better life now, better life then.
I'll share with you a line from the AA community, and it's called the ninth step promises, and it's usually read at the end of the closing of every meeting, and it basically says, if we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we're halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. And it goes on. But that first line, we will be amazed before we're halfway through. It has come true.
It's a story. Your story is a story of redemption. It's a story of redemption of a really, really smart, really, really engaged, really, really patriotic, cool guy, just a neat guy that got into alcohol and alcohol until it just about killed you.
Yeah.
And just about took everything away from you. And but it's a story of redemption. It's a story of all that and more coming back. And that's what I want the people that listen to this podcast to hear, is that it's a story of redemption and more. And it's better on the other side. It's better when you deal with this problem and take care of the problem. Yes, is it going to be a mess to go through a HIMSS program and a HIMSS AME and an alcohol treatment facility and all the mess that goes along with that? And the answer is it better on the other side? And the answer is way better.
Oh, yeah. Well, absolutely. And I appreciate you framing it that way, because the further, with every passing day, the further that I get away from that sheer cliff and that razor's edge that I was treading for so long,
yes,
the bigger the chills that overcome my spine when I think back on that. When I think about, oh God, what was that? That was really scary. So with every passing day, the thought of going back to that is way scarier than, anything that I might have to face.
Yes.
The trauma, loss, grief, it is scary. I think about it all the time, especially as a dad. The significant loss. But going through that significant loss and having to deal with everything that addiction brings is way scarier.
Yeah.
So,
and the cool thing is you're back in the cockpit. You're back flying airliners. You fly as a first officer right now, but here later this summer, you've got the seniority now to easily bid captain. You'll be a captain on a 737. Yeah. Very, very soon. Already flying the line.
Yeah.
Good to have you back in the cockpit.
Yeah.
Good to be there and be clean and be a functional person that's doing great stuff in life.
The best way that I can describe what life has been like for me since I've been back, it all just makes more sense. I call it's life in Technicolor. That's what it's been like.
Yeah, the alcohol took the color away.
Yeah, before I was just in shades of black and white, and now that I'm back, it's like, the blood coming back, after being in a G-force centrifuge or whatever, or taking that hit of oxygen, when you're slightly hypoxic, the colors come back brighter. Well, that's what it's been like.
Yes.
It's life in Technicolor, and it just gets better every day. And we hear that a lot. Oh, it gets better. Well, it does.
Life in Technicolor. Maybe that's a good title for this.
Yeah.
Staton West, thank you for coming to.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks for coming to be a part of the Malibu Guru podcast. Thanks for opening up about your story and let me know. I hope if one person listens to this and decides I'm going to surrender, it's worth it. Yeah. It's worth telling your story. I appreciate you being so open to be able to come here and reveal your story of going through a valley and realizing there's people in the valley who are willing to help, and people as you come out of the valley that are still there beside you. And it takes a community to do it, but you did it, and you aligned with the right people in the right way. Thank God for Sun Country in the sense that you work for a great airline. Didn't know you were going to hire into such a good thing, but
Yeah.
You've got the right people and the right systems and the right organizations and the right help to get you to a place where you're really good right now.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I'm happy to see it.
Thanks for the opportunity. Part of holding on to sobriety is being willing to give away the story, to share the message of the alcoholics with others. And so this helps me, just being able to talk about it, just, gets me one step further away from that sheer cliff. So thanks, Joe.
Joe Casey and
Staton West.
signing out.